Okay. It's a Merex hat. That's what this is, a Merex. So anyway, November 10th of 2024, I'm sure it's the 10th. Yeah, November 10th of 2024. I just uploaded a little video in regards to that missing young man from the city of Surrey in British Columbia, Canada, named Joseph Matku, who is from, well, I don't know if he was born in Canada or if his parents came to Canada and had him here, either or. He's missing. And I have a little video that I want to upload, but I can't right now because the Windows 7 isn't hooking in with the internet. So I gotta wait. So as I'm waiting, I'm like, I'm bad today, people. I'm really, really bad. I'm like, kind of like shaky bag in terms of tired and just, you know, with the eyes and everything. But I kind of want to talk more about this situation because it's serious. And I've already put the call out, people. If you watch my videos, you go, I know they get buried, right? I have to put everything into playlists. I know. I'm catching up with it. It just burns out my eyes, the computer. So in the meantime, though, I have already put the warning out that for those that are in Africa, Joel Overton, right? For your people, Canada is not all it cracks up to be. It's not. It's a dangerous country. Bottom line. It's been inundated with highly organized, racist, ruthless, collective individuals who work as a collective, you know? That are on a mission to establish wealth by any means necessary. Only they don't do it for humanity's sake, right? They don't do it for the quote-unquote all of the people. They do it for their own people. And then, of course, it splinters off into religions. So that's where you get this organized religion, which at some point becomes an organized criminal organization to one degree or another. Because under the Criminal Code of Canada, it only takes three people to create a criminal organization, to which leads into conspiracy, to commit crimes, extortion, and just all of that. Under the Criminal Code of Canada, this section, this section, this section, this section. Okay. And because Canada is so, I don't want to say money-oriented, but it requires a lot of money to have any sense of security. And then once you pass that threshold of having a lot of money with a sense of security, it becomes that addiction where you need more money, more money, more money by any means necessary, not only to keep what you have, but to keep building on what you have. And then and then the corruption is, right, embedded into that whole process. Okay. So, for certain ethnic groups, it's just a given. I mean, it's no new knowledge. Malcolm X talked about it, okay? Long before any of us were even born, right? And so did a whole lot of other people talk about it. And they still talk about it. And then everybody comes in with their own baggage and applies that same, like the Punjabis. 100 years they have their little gathering every year, or whenever they decide to rub it in everybody's face that, that they came in under, being oppressed and were forced to stay out on the ocean in the boat, like the Sikhs or whatever, and they weren't allowed into Canada because the Canada was ultimately racist and denied them entry into the country, and then they had to take it to court and fight their way in, and finally they got in, and then when they got in, they had to fight with the institutional racism and the white privilege, because in those days there was more white people, right? The Aboriginal people had already been, dispersed, and then we had the 60s scoop, right, where, Native children were scooped up and put into residential schools. And so, 100 years later, the Sikhs and the Punjabis and whatnot, they're still crying on about how they're being oppressed, even though they own more than half of the province when it comes to property and the politics. They run the politics in this province, people. They do. And with the immigration that's been going on for the last few years, it's just, we've been inundated to where it's become a siege. And then along comes the UN soldiers that demolish community after community after community, that creates large amounts of vulnerable people from different ethnic groups, but who are subject to be below a certain income level. And once you get down to a certain level, after that threshold of that, above, you're worthy. Below, you're unworthy because you belong within a caste system. And then you throw in prejudices, racisms, bigotries, and everything else that's related to skin, not to mention just a long history of who is inferior as a human being compared to, say, someone else with a different skin tone. It's just a distraction. When the Punjabis and the Sikhs and that particular ethnic group lobby the government to give them more resources to combat institutional racism within the government itself, or racism within the community in terms of white people don't like brown people. I'll just use that as an example, right? Or whoever, for that matter. Again, even though they own, more than half of the wealth in the province, but they want more, right? So as more are coming, they want more resources to give them, the newcomers, the opportunity to build businesses, buy homes, get first dibs on housing, join the UN crew to demolish more houses so that, it stimulates the economy with, just whatever. And they use the racism as a tool to manipulate the politics. Just like with that young guy over there, right? That tore down that duplex and kicked out those people in those 4 suites, right? So, 2 to 5 people per suite. You're looking at 15 people, maybe 18 people that got evicted with no affordable housing to get to the next destination. They don't care. But yet, when I called him on his antics, right, said, you are destroying lives. What you think you're doing, but the government wants me to do it. They make it so I can do it, and right? But ultimately, you're destroying lives, but they don't care. I mean, this dude had the nerve to come to my door, ask me for fucking water so that he could get ready to tear down that duplex. I'm like, no, I don't think so, because, you know what, you're going to come knocking on my door and kick my ass out and tear down this house and not even bat an eye as to how many lives you destroyed? I don't think so. Oh, well, do you work? He tried to fucking flip it on me. Right? Like my landlady. Oh, well, look, the yard. No, don't talk to me about the fucking yard after all this fucking time. I will go out there next year. My grandson's bigger. I will do what I can. You know, obviously you don't care if I'm fucking blind, because if you did, you'd fucking treat me better. But it doesn't matter, because you basically got what you wanted out of me. And now that you can't get the full maximum dollar amount through the corruption within your fucking people and your temple to keep raising rents because you want to fly off to India for fucking parades, or maybe go buy yourself a heart on the black market, or build yourself another fucking monster home, or who knows, because it has nothing to do with the community in terms of the overall. It's not like you're helping the fucking community here. No, you're just helping for yourself, right? You know, do you work? You don't work. Well, how do you know I don't fucking work? Just because you don't value my work? I work on a non-profit, man. If I didn't work on a fucking non-profit, I wouldn't talk about this shit. So I can get this little shit from little fucktards that clearly have mental health issues, that are in complete fucking denial because they're so fucking corrupt that they crawled out from the bottom of the pits of hell and are roaming around on the planet just being little demons because they don't provide anything good to the world, people. All right. So, I'm going to name some names of just a few that I'm aware of at this point. Of, I guess you can say, young black men who have died in the last, we're in 2004. We'll take it from 2018. So within the last 6 years or so. Okay? There is, we'll start with Julian Johnson's stepbrother. In other words, the mother dated the man who had a son, and because he had a son and she had a son, the two sons became stepbrothers. But by blood, they're not stepbrothers, right? I mean, they're not brothers by blood. They're brothers by two people having a relationship. All right. He's dead. He ate dope to protect Julian so they wouldn't get caught when the cops stopped him for a check. And because he ate the dope and it didn't come out fast enough, it exploded in his gut. And he basically died in a park as Julian was trying to get him to puke it out. Well, you got Tamika fucking running around trying to cover up that fact. Yeah, okay, whatever. I know I wasn't there. No, I wasn't there, but I know who the fuck I was dealing with when that man was standing there looking at the cop, and the cop looked at fucking Julian and went like this, and then Julian started his shit so that the cop could say, go take Julian down to the bedroom, as they were loading up my daughter with a perfusion machine in a fucking hammock and hauling her dead body off to the Surrey Memorial Hospital because she was a commodity on demand and booked for surgery before she was even fucking dead. I'm just saying. So don't be surprised what happened with the stepbrother. The point is, he's dead. And he was what, 18, 19 years old? Mm-hmm. But before he died, that young Sudani man, who was 18 or 19 years old, that I used to do crafts with, and snacks with, and water sprinklers and just whatever, building birdhouses with at Gateway Place with the rest of the African children and families. Well, he just up and disappears. 18, 19 years old. Last seen at the high school, standing outside, doing something, just whatever. And then disappears. Never to be heard from again. Completely gone. Yeah, okay. So that's two. All right. And then Well, we can include Julian being shot down, and you can almost say he got no justice for his situation, right? Considering he was shot down in a stupid gas station at the counter, basically. You know, whether he's seen it coming or not, who knows? The point is he's gone. So that's 3, right? Okay? And his murder was technically never solved. But the one that has been rumored to do it, who was quote-unquote his best friend, but got sick and tired of waiting for the money that Julian owed him, not to mention, you know, well, what happened to my mom? Really? You know, did my mom really, you know, like, why? All of a sudden, Julian shows up and now my mom is dead. Why? And Julian runs off with the safe. Why? Yeah. So we don't know what was playing on that young man's mind. Point is, he's dead now. So that's 4, right? And then don't forget Mo, another black man, right? Over there at the African's house, 6:30 in the morning. I open my door. Mo is, right? You know, and I guess he wanted to come talk to me at 6:30 in the morning to say hi. He should have, because he was on the phone with his ex-girlfriend, and she's saying, come and see me. And he said, yeah, okay, I'm going to come see you. Right? But he, you know, he goes, oh, there's Mama Lynn at the door. I'm going to go talk to Mama Lynn first. And Paige says, no, just leave Mama Lynn alone at 6:30 in the morning. Just come to my house. He goes, oh, okay. So he hangs up the fucking phone, and by 7 o'clock, he's dead. Because he, instead of going to Paige's house, he went off from next door, right, with the Africans, to some tower just up by Surrey Central, 14 or 13 floors high, went on a balcony, and I guess he decided to jump off by himself. Yeah, sure, people. And he's dead, because he fell 14 fucking floors. So that's the young man that disappeared, the young man that ate the dope and couldn't puke it out fast enough and died in a park, right? Or maybe he didn't quite die in the park. Maybe he ended up dying in the hospital, because it was either or. It was too fucking late. Okay? You understand? And then Julian died. And then we got Mo, who died. That's 4 that I know of. At the top of my head. Okay? All black men. Young black men. And then we've got Shimei, half black, half white, murdered in her home, with everybody around, right? As the cops are covering it up, working with the perpetrator. Okay? I'm just saying. Sierra, half black, half white, lured to her death, right? With the cops covering that up and being actual participants to that whole fiasco, which is online, basically, to the best of my ability, recording what I could record, right? To prove what I'm saying. And anyone with an ounce of sense in their fucking brain can clearly see that something sneaky is going on around here in terms of a province where there's disparities. Not everything is equal. Not everybody is treated equal. Not everybody gets a fair fucking shake around here. Not everybody gets a fair opportunity. And yeah, if you're smart and you're going into the system wanting to get gainful employment in a position where it might cut the grass for somebody else that's already preordained to have that position once they get pushed through the fucking system, even though they might not be fully qualified, damn right, they're going to be taken out, people. Because that's what happened to Shimei. Okay? And not only are they going to be taken out, but they're going to be harvested in any capacity. If they got good teeth, you can guarantee those teeth are going into a fucking robotoid. Okay? If they got good skin, well, I'm sure they'll find good uses for that. Right. Not to mention anything else that they take from the inside. And then we've got the snuff movies yet, because that's big business. That was Sierra's fate. With the cops fucking protecting that process. Because they're involved. I don't care. They're fucking involved. And the government, what does the government do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They cover it up. And they accuse you of being cuckoo. Even when you come with evidence, they ignore it. They twisted it around. They have their fake fucking crooked judges falsify their transcripts, change this, change that. And if you don't have the stamina to take it back to court to fight them with a $10 billion slush fund at the taxpayers' expense, you're left with no justice. And everybody else that's being targeted has no safety nets, people. There's nothing to stop these people that do this shit. Okay? Now, there was something I wanted to say. Like, the mother, I listened to the video, right? I'll put them into the link somewhere on this video that's going to hopefully be uploaded here pretty soon. You know, she's under the impression that her 18-year-old son, who apparently just turned 18 years old, ran off to go be with a woman because he felt like he was old enough to do so, even though he's in college. Oh yes, this is what I wanted to say. And I'm not even going to drag this shit out, okay? Because I'm disgusted with it. I've been warning. Before you come to fucking Canada, you really need to do a double take on it. Because what you think you're going to get, you may find out you won't. And that's how it happens. It freaking blindsides you. One day you wake up and one of your family members are gone. Andre was gone. Sierra was illegally kicked out into the fucking streets and turned into a junkie and was pimped out on those streets for 8 fucking years by the establishment, the government employees. Who do you think benefited from that? They did. It kept them not only employed, but fuck, who knows what they did to her when they had her by herself. Because all that ever happened, people, was she deteriorated. And like I said, when I tried to get a little fucking house to get her off the streets and help a few other people, what did that landlord do? Oh, he just made sure that the toilet flooded every 3 fucking days. Bathtub backed up every fucking 4 days. And kept it like that for fucking a year. As he's running around in the community bragging about how fucking rich he is because he can build a monster home and a monster home and another monster home and another monster home and another monster home, as he kicks out everybody out into the fucking streets, whether they're drug addicts or not. They don't fucking care. Do you hear what I'm saying? They don't fucking care, because at the end of the day, they're gonna say, oh, just let them live their lives. That's their life. Let them fucking deal with it. Yeah. So, this family was a whole family, like my family. And I'm going to end it on this, and this is why I'm doing this video. This family was whole, like my family was basically when I moved into this house. I mean, we always know we had problems with Sierra. But she was the implant to cast those stones, you know, to keep the family somewhat disrupted in terms of her behavior with the bipolar and, you know, the addiction and, you know what I mean? It was hard to, you know, cope with that. But we dealt with Sierra. We did whatever we could for her as she was fucking doing whatever Sierra was doing. But in general, though, we were whole. You go into my videos, my first fucking videos, when you find them, what? My kids were fucking happy. Despite everything that we went through already, they were still fucking happy. We were whole. And then they went in for the attack and scooped up on Andre. They had to throw Sierra out first, though, right? That was it. The game was on. Life was never the same. And he just disappeared. So what this family is feeling, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, people. Okay? And I'm sure, you know, they're putting on a brave face. But the longer it fucking goes, the more suicidal some of them are going to start to feel. To the point where they're all going to fucking feel suicidal because they'll never know if they don't ever find this young man. Okay? I mean, even when we found Andre and knew he was in foster care, the games that the government was playing with their workers, with us for 18, 15 months, 22 times in court. It ripped our hearts out. And it made us all suicidal in this house. And it was my job to try and hold my family together. As my landlady's not fucking fixing stupid shit to keep us fucking fighting and feeling more like garbage. Because it's not just a one prong, it's a 2-prong, 3-prong, 4-prong attack on families. Okay? Anything to derail the family. So, okay, the son goes missing, the boy goes missing, the young man goes missing, the brother goes missing. Okay, so one of his sisters, I guess, goes to university as well. Not bad for a single black woman coming to Canada, having 2 of her kids go to university. Wow, that's amazing. But little does she realize that those kids are a threat to somebody else's fucking kids that aren't the same color to her as her kids. And they don't want them taking those job descriptions. Hell no. They don't want them to be successful. Hell no. Because it's not only a money fucking power trip around here in British Columbia, Canada. It's an authoritarian. Who's the boss? Who's the big gangster? Who's the big honcho? Who's the fucking mob boss? Seriously, people. Okay? And if their young ones are coming up smart, they're at risk. They're at risk as much as the strung out ones on the streets. If you're not the right color, and that's just the bottom fucking line. Okay, this is what Malcolm X used to talk about. But I'm not a Malcolm X. I'm a Mayor X. There's a difference. Okay? I talked to Malcolm X's sister. She gave me permission to fight the good fucking fight for the people. And I took it serious, people. And that's a threat to those around me that are high on the fucking horse and have a dictionary full of tricks how to oppress others by any means necessary so that they can continue to build wealth for themselves and have long, prosperous, well, hopefully healthy, but not necessarily. Hold on a minute. Okay, I just heard on Amar. Hold on a minute. What happened? Okay, when you fall down, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you start again. Okay, so what I'm saying is, they're just coming into the game. Their loved one has gone missing. Uncle John up and disappeared. Oh my God, never seen him again, right? And when the one time that the kids did go and see him in Victoria, what happened? Eleanor Gilding, a professional fucking public union sector for 40 fucking years, inoculating everybody in the province for God knows what, at the whim of the government, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's her job, right? To make sure that everybody's healthy, I suppose. And you know, she's stealing John's money and threatens to call the security and all this. And John's saying, no, I want to see the kids. Got it fucking documented, got it fucking written out. And does the government want to admit that? Hell no. They turned around and tried to make it sound like John died in 2017 when I took it to court. And that's a bunch, because that's how they're trying to throw it out. Well, he was dead. You can't represent him. Well, no, he wasn't. He didn't die until 2018. But I have to go and fight again and repeat the same fight over and over, repeat the same fight over and over with crooked fucking lawyers, crooked fucking judges, crooked fucking attorney general, representatives, power of attorney, public safety solicitor attorney general, right? In terms of the last 2 ministries that I put on my lawsuit, and they just switch things around. Because they know what they're doing. Just like they did, they're ignoring what happened to Shimei. They're ignoring what the RCMP did. But if you notice the pattern, Uncle John just up and disappeared. Andre just up and disappeared, right? You know what I'm saying? Shimei just up and suddenly died. And then they blamed it on her, right? As they let her fucking killer walk, right? And then you got all these young black men dying. One over here, one over there, another one over there, for different reasons. But they all did it to themselves. Who cares? They're black, right? Everybody's going on about their fucking business. You know what I'm saying? And this family You know, this all I can think of is this young girl, woman, you know, the sister going to university without her brother. And she trying to put, she reminds me of Shmei. She's nervous, right? So she kind of smiling, because some people do that. They'll smile when they're nervous or they're upset. And she's trying to put on a brave face. Be strong for her family. Be strong, right? But clearly, you know, she's dying inside. You know, she's got to have to walk the halls without her brother. The longer it goes, the worse it's going to get, to the point where, do you honestly think that she's going to be able to study with confidence, and you know, and she might be like Shmei. She'll still pull in those high grades in terms of honor student, but at what cost? Wanting to die. This is how they do it, people. They take one first, by any means necessary. They find the weak spot. Obviously, if this young man doesn't show up, he was lured. The mother already thinks he was lured by a woman, and that he's just sitting up in some woman's house and she won't let him go because he's 18 and he discovered that he likes a woman. Who knows? That's what the mother is thinking. Release my son, let him go. You know, he's too young yet. Okay? It's not right what he's doing, and it's not. I can't see a young man going to university, being with his family, and then just up and disappearing and say, fuck you all. It doesn't work like that, people. It's because we got bad people living in the province of British Columbia, Canada, that likes to harvest the most vulnerable when they can capture them, or the ones that they target on demand. So, guess where I'm now with Andre? I'm like, holy crumb. Here we go again. Nothing new under the fucking sun in British Columbia, Canada. As if Andre is safe to go to the grocery store for me. By himself. At any age. Even at 18 or 19 years old, for crying out loud. I want to leave Surrey. I want to get away from these demons. I do, people, but I can't, because if I go to another fucking community, I'm going to find the same kind of freaking attitude, the same kind of mentality, the same kind of fucking racist ideologies, the same kind of caste system. Because it's everywhere now. Because our governments have failed the Canadian people. And the ones that are coming into the country, if they don't fit the squad in terms of who's the best of the best when it comes to morality with that fucking turban on, or that whatever they wear when it comes to burqas and all that crap, depending on what fucking mosaic they come from. Or an Eleanor Gilding who's been working. She white, right? You can't just blame brown people for it. She white, right, people? You know what I'm saying? Some of those nurses that were hovering over Shmei's body were freaking white. So it's not necessarily a race thing, but it is. When you bring in the big money, who has the money and who doesn't, it becomes very racist. And most Africans, when they come to this country, do not have a lot of money. And they are facing a lot of fucking hurdles, just like me not having a lot of money. And I'm considered to be, quote unquote, white trash with my mulatto children who are a commodity on demand, as the real criminals, more than 3, sneak around in the neighborhood with their dictionary of, well, we can do things this way, and we can set it up this way, and we can make it look this way, and we can do this, and we can do that, all to distract away from what we're really fucking doing, and at the end of the day, we're gonna blame the fucking victims. Right? And then what we've done now is we've chiseled into the wholesome family. We're in now. And I'm gonna end it on this. This family, who was a whole family, not saying they didn't have family problems, but were clearly functional, clearly on a mission to be prosperous, not prosperous, but productive. You have to be productive before you can be prosperous. So they were being productive. They were trying to be well-rounded human beings to produce, something positive, not only for themselves, but that would extend out into the community. And instead, somebody came along, plucked out one, where now it's like a chisel that's going to start breaking them apart, people. And everybody has different coping skills. Some will get more angry, some will get more depressed, some will become more suicidal, right? Some will become, right, the longer things, right, extend. And God forbid if they, I feel so sorry for them right now, people, because if they don't ever find this young man, that's like the one that went missing up by the high school. No different. Which, you know, in my mind is that young man that went missing and never to be found again. He was chopped up into little fucking pieces. Before that happened, he was recorded. He was tortured. Somebody made big fucking money off of him, and then they salvaged his organs after they were done. Because that's basically what they did with Sierra. I do not believe that Sierra was dead behind that fucking door. No. No, they had us standing outside in the fucking rain with that baby-faced fucking 6'7" fucking cop, with that body dude going back and forth with his little fucking taser and his cell phone, looking in the cell phone with the cop saying, "Are you coming back?" Well, I don't know. Why wouldn't he come back? Did it look like he was walking out with Sierra's dead body? No, fuck no. He was walking out looking in a fucking cell phone with a big grin on his face. When he got to the bottom of the fucking stairs, he did sign signals to the cops that were sitting up on the road in their vehicles to say, "I got the fucking footage." Yeah, that's exactly what happened, people. Well, Sierra was probably still alive, listening to us, crying, but couldn't cry out because they had probably paralyzed her with their fucking stupid drugs and tortured her. And then she died, and they had to rush off and harvest her organs. And I didn't get the privilege, the right, fucking anything, dignity to identify my dead daughter's body until 19 days later. And let me tell you something. Again, let me remind you again. I seen Shimei embalmed in that hospital bed for 9 fucking days as they light up in my fucking face. And I know what embalmed bodies look like. And I know what they fucking feel like, okay? Sierra didn't even look dead. But she smelled like sweet fucking aged beef. We're dealing with some really fucking, boo-boo, sorry for swearing. We're dealing with some really boo-boo, decrepit, depraved individuals. How we flush them out, I don't know, because there's too many of them. They're too integrated with each other. There's too much money. Why do you think we have a housing boom in an economy that's crashing where nobody can afford anything except for those that are building their property developments? Yeah. Raising their rents. Yeah. So that more people can end up out in the fucking streets. So the ones that do disappear on the streets, nobody cares about. But you see, that's not enough. Because they have to break up the wholesome family. They have to break up the family that's being productive. They have to break up the families that are not like them, that have dreams and hopes and are able to accomplish them because their brains are able to do that in terms of university and, you know, with knowledge, right? You know, it's not everybody's book smart. Not everybody can be academic in a way that it comes easy to them, right? Where Shimei, it came easy. Obviously, this boy that young man that went missing, he was in university, so at some point it was coming easy to him. His sister, at some point, it's coming easy to her, but not anymore. Not unless her brother comes home. If her brother doesn't come home, what's her chances of success now? And who's to say she won't be targeted next? And then she dies suddenly from fentanyl because she was depressed, people. She was depressed because her brother disappeared a year ago and didn't come home. So therefore she got what she fucking deserved because she did it to herself because she was suicidal. There's your cops, people. There's your dirty fucking dictionary with, well, if we set them up and we get them to think this or we do that, and, you know, and they do it in increments every couple of years while the landlords keep the tenants fighting because the toilet isn't being fixed. The porch isn't being fixed. The pipe fucking breaks. The roof is leaking. Who knows? Could be raise the rent. Get the fuck out. I'm coming in with a bin. right? Just get out of my way. Don't worry. We'll load it up in the fucking bin for you. And then they bring in another fucking family that's whole, that has dreams. And they start the process all over again because you're below that certain income level. Do you understand me? If you can't meet their fucking rent, their expectations, whatever it is the fuck is that they fucking want from you, you become expendable. And even when you try and do it, they kick you down off that mountain. That is what my family represents. That is what my family is teaching you. So, Joel Overton, before you allow your people to come to fucking Canada, you need to do some research. Don't be stalking me. I'm already half wiped out with my family. And just because those people are from Sudan doesn't mean that the Ugandans aren't being targeted. We just don't hear their stories.